Very good morning, all of you. Chapter 3 Lean System is going on. We have completed the topics up to Six Sigma, and now we are going to enter the next topic under Lean System. As per your arrow diagram in the first page of the chapter, the next topic is cellular manufacturing. Now, student is getting very scared. Cellular manufacturing means again theory. Again, there will be lot of theoretical points. Do we have to memorize a lot? No, sir. Cellular manufacturing is one of the most simplest topics but most interesting topics in Lean system. And cellular manufacturing is implemented in almost all the industries, and therefore it's a practical concept. Extremely useful. Now, what is cellular manufacturing? Please listen carefully to what I am saying. Don't write anything. Listen first. Listen first. Let's talk of a manufacturing company which has several operations like, concentrate here, machining, finishing, assembly and packing. Okay? Come on, tell me, sir, how many are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 operations that are done by this company. This company is a multi-product company. It makes several products. Now, for each of these operations, machining, finishing, assembly and packing, we require a separate machinery. Machining operation requires different types of machines. Finishing requires different types of equipments. Assembly requires different types of equipments. Packing requires different type of equipments. Okay, don't write. First you listen. Now, traditionally, machines and the manufacturing process, how it is done. Let's understand that. Only when you understand traditionally how it is done and the problems that are there in traditional method, then you will understand cellular manufacturing. Okay, so first let us understand traditionally how the machines are maintained, how the manufacturing is done. Okay, just visualize a factory and the factory layout. Factory layout means what? The order and the manner in which the machines are arranged. How the manufacturing is going on. Think of huge automobile companies like Volkswagen, Toyota and these big automobile companies which do manufacturing in huge spaces. So in these big factories, how the machines are arranged, how the machines are kept, in what order they are kept, in what way they are organized, that is known as a factory layout. Now traditionally, how the layout used to be done, let's try to understand. Say for example, machining department machines are represented by alphabet A. Okay? Finishing machines are B. Assembly is C. Packing is D. Okay? Now, traditionally what happens is, the factory is organized in such a way that there is a departmental classification, department-wise, functional. Another name of department-wise is functional. Let me tell you. A is which machine? Come on, participate. A is which machine? A is which machine? Machining. B, finishing. C, assembly. D, packing. I am explaining you factory layout under cellular manufacturing or traditional. Are you understanding? Now, concentrate all of you. See, in traditional system, the factory is organized in the form of a function-wise / department wise manner. For example, this is my machining department. This is my, come on, what is the next one? Please participate. Finishing department. Listen first, don't write. This is my, come on. Sir? Assembly. And ultimately I have my packing department. Okay. So in traditional way of doing the manufacturing, traditionally what happens is each department is independently organized. Each function is a separate department in the factory. So when you enter the factory, it will be a huge factory, about more than 5 to 10 acres of huge factory land will be there, and you will find big buildings. Huge buildings will be there in different parts of the factory. Now inside each building, an independent process is going on. So there will be a machining department in a separate building. There will be finishing happening in another building, assembly happening in another building, and packing happening in another building. Please think practically. Now, in each department, same types of machines will be kept. For example, for the purpose of machining, I said what is the name of the machine? A. So what they do is, inside this, they will keep only those machines which are responsible for which activity? Machining. A means what? Machines which are performing machining operation. Okay, next. Finishing may, they will have only those machines which are responsible for finishing. All B's will be here. Okay, all C will be here. Who is C? Machines which do assembly. All D's will be here. Concentrate. What are these D's? Can you tell me? Machines which are doing packing. Okay. This is how traditionally a factory layout is organized. This is how traditionally factories are maintained. Is this cellular manufacturing? No. This is traditional method. Function wise or department wise. Now because of this method, what are the problems that you will encounter? Number one, the first problem you will encounter is inventory build-up. Can you tell me how? Come on, think. The second problem that you will experience is the problem identification is late. The third problem you will face is lack of flexibility. The fourth problem you will face, come on, think, delay / unnecessary movement. Come on, think. How many problems I have written till now? Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another problem is breakdown in one department. Come on. Affects all other departments. Another problem is unable to perform autonomous maintenance. Okay. Now, we will discuss each of these problems practically. Okay. Concentrate everyone. Is this cellular manufacturing or it is traditional way of doing the manufacturing? Right. In traditional way of doing the manufacturing, as you all can see, just listen to the discussion, don't write anything. Each department is working as independent department. Machining, finishing, assembly and packing are 4 independent departments which are there in different places inside the factory. The first problem that will arise is piling up of inventory. Now what do you mean by that? Say for example, machining department is there. What is his responsibility? His responsibility is to do the machining of all the products. Please remember, I am talking of a multi-product company. Am I right? Multi-product company, every product you want to do machining, you have to do in this department. So therefore, it is not a product-wise classification, it is a department-wise classification. All the products which you have to do machining will be done by this machining department. Understood? Now, so machining department person, the manager of this department and the operators of this department, they will focus only on machining work of all the products which come to them. Say for example, his capacity is to complete the machining of 500 units per day. And once the machining is over, it goes to finishing. Once the finishing touches are given, time to do assembling of the components. Once the assembly is over, we come to packing. So this is the flow, all of you, are you understanding? So what happens? Machining department, 500 units per day, he sends it to finishing. Now, if finishing department's capacity is 400 units per day, you tell me every day we will find 100 units which are waiting, which are carried in the finishing department. Are you understanding? Because of this, inventory buildup will happen. We are all doing lean system. In lean system, we discuss the 7 wastes. And one of the waste is inventory. Don't forget. So, because of traditional way of doing the manufacturing, department-wise classification of the functions and machines maintained in each department separately, because of different capacities of the machine, we are finding that there is a possibility of inventory buildup. Is it clear? Chalo, come on. Next. Problem identification is late. Very, very important. What happens is, in machining department, all products machining is going on. After that, all those units need to be carried in the factory from one building to another building. From machining building, you have to send it to the finishing department building in the factory. Visualize practically. So when all those units are being carried to the finishing department has received this input. Output of machining is the input of finishing. Now in that, if there are any defects which are done by the machining department, it will be difficult to identify in the finishing department, because finishing department staff were not at all involved in machining. Machining is already done and 500 units are given to finishing. And now, if there is any defect in that 500 units, or if there is a defect in each of the 500 units, these defects will be identified by the finishing department. Means what? After the machining is over, on 500 units, finishing department is identifying the problem subsequently only. And if finishing department also fails to detect the defect, that defect will be passed on to assembly. From assembly to packing. Imagine the defect is detected at the stage of packing. The delay in problem identification is very, very, we can say, dangerous for the company, because delay in problem identification means already many units with the defect are produced unknowingly. Early detecting a problem is much better than detecting a problem late, because when you detect a problem early, you will not allow that problem to repeat. And if none of the departments detect the defect, customer will detect the defect. And that will become even bigger problem for you, because that is external failure in chapter 2, cost of quality. Are you understanding, sir? So, problem identification is late. Did you understand why? What is the reason? Can you tell me? Very good. Why problem identification is late? Tell me. Because units of one department are sent to another department, and any defects that are done in the machining department may not be identified by the finishing department, because finishing department is not involved in machining only. Did you get it? Did you follow? Very good. Next. Lack of flexibility. Now, this is a multi-product company and it is divided like this. Machining department will do machining of all the products. Finishing will do finishing of all the products. Assembly will do assembly of all the products. It is going on like that. It is a highly standardized way of doing the production. Means what? Machining will do machining of the products in his own way. Finishing will do finishing of the products in his own way as per the standards that are there. As per the products that are finalized, as per the shape and design that is finalized, work will be going on. Now suddenly one customer comes and says that please make a few changes in my product. Say this company is manufacturing some equipments or some electronic products. Customer is asking for some customization, some flexibility. He says, sir, can you do the design a little bit more rounder? Can you make the design a little bit more sharper? Can you make the design a little bit smaller? Such kind of questions, such kind of customization requests you will get from the customer. One customer will say, sir, while doing the machine, can you please print our company logo on that product because I want to distribute in the market along with my company logo. One company may say, I am distributing this free of cost to all my employees. I am giving them free cell phones. I am giving them free electronic items. Can you please print my company name while doing the finishing? But in traditional method of doing the manufacturing, that much flexibility will not be available to do the customization. Why? Because they are already operating in their own style. They are already operating in their own standardized procedures. And customer cannot expect customization because each department is functioning independently. One person is not doing all the activities. So customization will become difficult, and therefore the problem is known as lack of flexibility. Are you all understanding or not? Are you understanding or not? Now tell me, what are the three problems quickly? Inventory build-up, late identification of the problem, lack of, flexibility. Another problem is delay/unnecessary movement. One of the 7 waste is motion and transportation. In lean system, out of 7 waste, one of the waste is what? Motion and transportation, yes or no? Now, one machining department building is that side, finishing building is here, assembly building is there, packing building is there, huge factory, different buildings for each operation. So every day, we have to carry huge quantity of stock from one building to another building. When you go to the factory, you might see movement of products from one department to another department. This causes delay, unnecessary movement from that building to this building. And it is also possible that while moving, some damage may happen. Who will claim responsibility for that? Will machining claim or finishing claim? So many issues will arise. Delay, unnecessary movement of the product. Why do you want to move the product unnecessarily? Eliminate the waste. One of the waste is motion and transportation, if you remember. Next, breakdown in one department affects all the other departments. Say for example, finishing department, there is a breakdown. When finishing department has a breakdown, machining will not do any work because finishing is not there. Machining will not do any work because there is nobody to receive it. Assembly will not do any work because there is no input available from finishing. Packing department, forget about it. He also has no input. So breakdown in one department is affecting all the other departments. You see how many problems are there? And normally in traditional department-wise manufacturing, what happens is, focus is not on the product, focus is on the function. Repeat this sentence. Focus is not product-wise, focus is function-wise. So each department tries to do its respective function in the best possible manner. So what happens is, huge, big, advanced machines will be maintained in machining, finishing, assembly and packing. Now when huge big machines are maintained, it is difficult for autonomous maintenance. We have discussed TPM, total productive maintenance. Yes or no? In that, one of the pillars, if you remember, there are 8 pillars of TPM. One of the 8 pillars is autonomous maintenance. Means the operator who is doing the job, he should be capable of doing some minor repairs and maintenance on his own. Unfortunately, when machines are huge and of advanced nature, it is difficult for the operator to do any kind of maintenance on his own. So due to the nature of complex machines that are maintained in the traditional manufacturing style, autonomous maintenance and concepts like TPM cannot be implemented. It is very difficult to implement. Are you seeing how many problems we are facing? Tell me, this factory layout is cellular manufacturing or is it traditional? Traditional. Quickly tell me, what are the problems? Inventory build-up, very good. Why? Because different capacity of each department. Did you understand these 500 and 400? Very good. Next problem. Problem identification is late. Why? Because the defects that may arise in the machining function, the defects that may arise in the machining department may not be detected in the finishing department. Are you understanding or not? Or it may be detected, but by then it is too late and by then many defects are produced. Are you understanding? Next, what is the third problem? Lack of flexibility. Customer is asking for changes in the design, shape, functionality, which I am unable to do because each department is functioning in a standardized manner. Next problem, tell me, delay/unnecessary movement. From one building to another building, from one department to another department, movement of huge quantities of inventory, unnecessary movement, it may get damaged in the process, resulting in delays. Come on, what is the next problem? Breakdown in one department, come on, affect all the other department. Did you understand this point perfectly? Finishing department breakdown ho gaya, all the other departments work will stop. It's like a circuit. Circuit breaker will have no fuse. When a fuse breaks because of high voltage, the entire electrical system will come to an end. So, finishing breakdown results in non-activity, loss of activity, stoppage of activity in all the other departments. Is it clear? Come on, yes or no? What is the next problem? Unable to perform autonomous maintenance. What is the reason for that? Due to large, advanced, complex machines that are maintained traditionally. Because of that, operator cannot do, autonomous maintenance on his own. So in this scenario, each department has a separate manager and each department has separate set of operators. This is which way of doing the manufacturing? Come on, louder. I can't hear you. Traditional. Clear, all of you? Now if I tell you cellular manufacturing, perfectly you will understand. Now concentrate everybody. Don't write anything. I will give time to write. Now only understand. Okay. Enter the solution to all our problems. Cellular manufacturing, one of the most ultimate concepts of lean system. It is the ultimate concept. It is an ultimate concept in lean system. Cellular manufacturing, solution to all our problems. It works on group technology. What technology? Group technology. Okay. Same factory will take now. Same machines will be there now. But the factory layout will be different. Concentrate now. Beautiful. Same factory, same machines, but look at the layout now. Please notice this. U-shape design Kindly notice the U-shaped design. Okay. Right. Now, each of these U-shaped design is a working cell. What is it? Come on, tell me. It's a, come on, working cell. And these working cells will have machines in this manner. Concentrate now. Machining department machine is A. There will be one A. There will be one B. There will be one C. There will be one D. A, B, C and D. Are you understanding what I am trying to say? And they are arranged in a U-shaped manner. Every cell will have A, B, C, D. Come on. A, B, C, D. Come on, bolo. A, B, C, D. What does A mean? Machining department, finishing department, assembly department, packing department. Are you following or not? A, B, C and D. And each cell will have a single operator who will have control over all the, come on, machines. Tell me which machine to which machine it will move. A to B to C to D. A to B, B to C, C to D. Okay. U-shaped design. Why do we need a U-shaped design? Because operator can easily monitor the machines if they are arranged in a U-shaped manner. Yes or no? Yes or no? Therefore, U-shaped design is primary requirement. Okay. Now, whatever problems we were facing earlier, we are going to overcome now. And how are we going to overcome? Number one, what was the first problem? I will not turn the page. You only have to tell. Very good. Inventory buildup. Are you following, sir? Now what happens? Each working cell is doing A to Z all the processes. This manufacturing cell here, this operator will do all the functions. He will do, come on, machining, come on, machining, finishing, assembly and packing. So what he will do is, once he gets the raw material, he will do the machining. After that, he will immediately go and do finishing. Then he will do assembly. Then he will do packing. Then after the product is ready, he will start the next product. So until and unless one product is completed inside the cell, another product will not start only. Are you understanding, sir? That is why this is also known as one-piece flow. Repeat, sir. Until and unless one product is fully completed, the next product will not start inside the working cell. Is it clear? Earlier what used to happen? Machining, 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 machining. Finishing, 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 finishing. Assembly, 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 assembly. Packing, 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 packing. Used to happen simultaneously, resulting in inventory buildup. Now, how it will happen now? Inside each cell, concentrate. Machining, finishing, assembly, packing. Machining, finishing, assembly, packing. Machining, finishing, assembly, packing. One-piece flow. Unless and until one product is fully completed, another product will not start only. No question of inventory buildup. Are you understanding or not? Is it clear? So, one-piece flow. Inventory buildup can be avoided. First problem is solved. Yes, what is the second problem? Second problem was First problem was inventory build-up. We have solved the problem of inventory build-up. Come on. Inventory build-up problem is solved. Second problem was problem identified later. Problem is identified late. Sir, do you remember or no, sir? Right. In this case, since one single operator is in charge of all the functions within his working cell, he will know if there is any defect from one operation to another. For example, if machining department any defect is there, he will not let it go to finishing. So, defect is identified immediately. Defect is identified early. And if the problem is identified early, I will not repeat that same problem. Earlier, machining used to do 500 units in a day, then it used to come to finishing, and then finishing department used to identify the defect, which result in lot of delay. In this case, from one operation to another operation, since it is within the control of the same operator who has to focus on one product at a time, machining, finishing, assembly, packing, then again machining, finishing, assembly, packing, his focus will be on all the operations on that for that one particular product, and he will not allow a defect to be sent from machining to finishing. So, problem being identified late also, that problem also is solved. Are you following or not? What was the third problem? Lack of flexibility. Come on. Now, a customer has come. He says, sir, in my product, can you print my logo? Can you print my name? Can you print my design? I need 500 units of that product. Very good. Congratulations. I will say, welcome, my dear customer. I can do it for you. No problem. Now I will go to one of these working cells. Say I come to this working cell here. I will tell this operator, my dear operator, a new customer has come, 500 units along with his logo. This cell will be responsible for that. So, machining, finishing, assembly, packing. One product is ready. Like that, one piece flow. Unless and until all the activities are completed, next one will not begin. Did you understand or not? Like that, he will be responsible for 500 units along with the customer logo. Customization is also possible. Are you following or not? Next, lack of flexibility problem is solved. What was the next problem we had? Come on. Very good. Breakdown. Am I right? Breakdown of one machine will affect all the other departments. Here, in working in a group manner in cellular manufacturing, breakdown of one department will stop all the department. That problem is totally solved here. Why? Is this department-wise classification or cell-wise classification? Cell-wise classification. Each one is a working cell. For example, if the finishing department, finishing machine, that is machine C, breakdown in this cell, other cells will not be affected, na? Other cells will not be affected even if one cell has a breakdown. That is the best part about working in a cellular manufacturing methodology. One machine fails, only this cell will be affected, other cells will not be affected, and therefore breakdown in one machine affecting all the other departments, that problem also will not arise when you go for cellular manufacturing. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? Next. What was the next problem? Delays and unnecessary movement. Come on, tell me. Here, there is no need of movement from one building to another building. Machines are all grouped in nice U-shaped cells. From machining, sent to finishing. Finishing sent to assembly. Assembly sent to packing. Movement is happening in small cells. Movement is happening within a limited area. When movement happens within limited area, movement will be faster, movement will be quicker, delays will be lesser because it is within a working cell. Not like traditional, from that building to this building, from this building to that building, not like that. Are you following, sir? So, even the delay because of movement will also be reduced. And what was the last problem? Autonomous maintenance is not possible. Now, Group Technology Cellular Manufacturing believes in having smaller sized machines in each working cells. Huge machines if you have, it's very difficult to form cells. Are you understanding? So in cellular manufacturing, we prefer to have smaller machines, more number of smaller machines rather than one huge machine or a couple of huge machines. So more number of smaller machines, and under the control of this operator, I am giving only small machines. Smaller machines are easy to understand, easy to operate, and therefore we can successfully implement autonomous maintenance. That is nothing but operator can himself do some amount of maintenance on his own. That is what we learnt in which concept? TPM, Total Productive Maintenance. Did you all follow? Is the difference between traditional and cellular manufacturing clear? Pakka? You understood? What are the problems in traditional that are overcome in cellular? You tell me, come on. Inventory build up next. Identifying the problem late next. Lack of flexibility. Breakdown of machines. Delays due to unnecessary movements. Autonomous maintenance also might not be possible. Is it absolutely clear? Shall we start writing now? Ready? On your marks, get set. Roman number. You forgot the Roman number, Roman number 6. Chalo, nicely we'll draw this diagram so that we understand everything perfectly. Example, manufacturing company has multi products. Machining A machines are used. Finishing B machines are used. These are the names of the machines, okay? And for packing, D machines are used. Okay? Traditionally, what is the factory layout? Traditionally, factory layout is department / function wise. Okay? So, machining will be here. Finishing will be here. assembly will be here. Packing will be here. We all know from machining it goes to finishing, from finishing to assembly, and from assembly to packing, and after the packing is over, ultimately it will go to the customer. Now in each of these departments, they will have their own respective machines. So here we will have A's, here we would have B's, here we would have C's, and here packing machine is the D's. Okay na? Traditional factory layout. And because of this, what are the problems faced? Number one, build-up of inventory. Come on, what's my second problem, anyone? Delay in problem identification. Yes, what's the next problem? You have to participate. Lack of flexibility. Huh, sir? Unnecessary movement. Yes. Breakdown affects all departments. Autonomous maintenance not possible. Autonomous maintenance is not possible. Cellular manufacturing. The next. Have you finished till here? Please write till here fast. Completed till here? Now, in cellular manufacturing, what happens? Come on. Cellular manufacturing we are talking of. Write down. Working cells, which is nothing but a group technology. Okay, each working cell will have a cluster of machines and it is a U-shaped design that is followed. Each U-shape represents a working cell and each working cell will perform all activities required for completion of the product. So in each cell I will have A, that is for machining, B for finishing, C for assembly, D for packing, and these activities will be done inside each cell under the supervision of a single operator. This single operator will perform all the activities within his respective cell. Finished? Finished all of you? Yes or no? Below this diagram, please write down. Below this diagram, please write down. Come on. Write down. The problems faced. Please write, I am dictating. The problems faced under traditional manufacturing. The problem faced under traditional manufacturing are solved if cellular manufacturing is followed. If cellular manufacturing is followed. If cellular manufacturing is followed. Okay, did you write that sentence or not? Okay, problems of traditional manufacturing style are solved if you go for cellular manufacturing. How those problems are solved? Let's have a look. Please give the side heading as cellular manufacturing. I have already explained to you how those problems will be solved. Let's once again understand and write down. Come on, write along with me. On your marks, get set, go. Number 1. There is no piling up of inventory because in each cell the operator will perform entire cycle of operation and then go to the next production cycle. So he will finish one cycle and then start another cycle. Thereby the inventory build-up does not happen. Secondly, we talked about problem identification, am I right? Yes? Since all functions within the cell are under the supervision of single operator, defects are detected very early. Defects are detected very early. What was the third problem? Do you remember what is the third problem? Flexibility. Good. Each working cell is independent and therefore more flexibility compared to traditional manufacturing. Problem 4 was, come on, very good. Since each cell contains all functions within a closed space / limited area, and it is in a U shape, comma, movement from one function to another is faster Finish these 4 points. What is the next problem? Can you tell me what is the next problem? Yes, sir. Tell me, sir. Sir? Breakdown of one department will affect all other departments in traditional, but in cellular manufacturing, that problem does not arise. Shall I turn the page? Pakka? Right. Problem number 5. Point number 5, sorry. Since each working cell is independent, breakdown in one cell will not affect other cells. Lastly, due to smaller machines, autonomous maintenance is possible. Come on, quick. Is it completed, all of you? What are these 6 points? Can someone tell? Problems faced by traditional manufacturing style, which is overcome by the, cellular manufacturing style. Is it completed till here? Yes or no? So all of you listen. The next side heading you can write like this. More about cellular manufacturing. Let's understand what else is there in this beautiful technique known as cellular manufacturing. Please give a side heading like this. First we have written how the problems are overcome. Now let's write, write like this. How does it work? I have explained you along with the diagram how it exactly works. Okay. Concentrate now. How does it work? Let's have a look. You see, this particular cellular manufacturing works on a group technology. Okay, don't write, listen first. It works on a group technology where we group machines into one particular cell. So each cell is a cluster of machines and each cell is operating independently. And why do we call it a one piece flow? What is the need to call it one piece flow? Because in each working cell, that particular operator will not repeat same operation again and again. He will complete one cycle and then start another cycle. In our example, there was machining, finishing, assembly and packing. In each cell, each operator will not say, Mondays I will do machining, Tuesdays I will do finishing, Wednesdays I will do assembly, Thursdays I will do packing. If he does like that, the whole purpose of one piece flow and cellular manufacturing is defeated. Rather, each operator will say, I will complete one product fully. I will do machining, finishing, assembly, packing of one product fully. Then I will start machining another product. That is the reason why this is called a one piece flow. Tremendous amount of savings because of U-shape. The operator can move easily. He need not travel long distances. He can move limitedly and have a control over all the machines if it is in a U-shaped form. So many advantages. I save so much of time. I save inventory. I don't have to carry so much inventory. I save time. I save space also because the configuration is done in such a way that limited space is occupied. Much of the space will not be occupied. That is why this cellular manufacturing is known as ultimate lean management. If a company can achieve this, it is ultimate in lean management. So how does it work? Group technology. Each cell is a cluster of machine. U-shaped design. Operator need not move very far distances. Operator has a control over the machines. Single one piece flow until and unless one product is completed. Next cycle will not start. Therefore, there is no question of inventory build-up. So many benefits. And let's write down how it works. Write down. Goals of cellular manufacturing are move as quickly as possible, make wide variety of products, eliminate waste. Eliminate waste. Write down second point. Multiple cells are used. Each cell performs a certain task. Product moves as little as possible U-shaped design consolidating processes within a cell reduction in extra steps massive gains with respect to WRT means with respect to massive gains WRT with respect to inventory, space and time. Inventory, space and time. Come on, come on. Is it completed? Yes or no? Right? Next. Sir, is it so simple to do this? Is it so simple to just arrange the machines in a U-shaped and say we are going to do cellular manufacturing? It is very easy to draw a diagram and say this is only cellular manufacturing. But to actually implement that in a factory, in a huge factory which has multiple products, multiple functions, multiple combinations, multiple components. See, I gave you a very simple example that machining, finishing, assembly, packing. But in complicated manufacturing industries like pharmaceutical sector, automobile industry, it's not so simple to say A, B, C, D, this is what you are going to do. It doesn't work that way. There are certain steps to be followed in implementing the cellular manufacturing. What are those steps? There are 4 steps. How many steps? And remember, why we are focusing so much on how does it work? Why we are focusing so much on what are the steps? Because remember, it's not simple, it is not easy to implement practically. If it was so easy, everybody will follow. Please remember, the gains are huge. It is called ultimate lean management system. Let's write that point as well. Below this, have you written these 6 points? Yes? Put a star and write below that. It is known as ultimate. It is known as ultimate in lean production. It is known as ultimate, sir, in lean production. Are you following, sir? Right. Now, the next side heading, put a star and write steps to implement cellular manufacturing. Come on. Steps to implement cellular manufacturing. Come on. Right? Okay. Now, don't write anything, just listen. What is the heading you have given all of you? Steps to implement cellular manufacturing. Ready? Now, sir, don't write, listen. Say for example, there is an automobile manufacturing company. Okay? Now, this company wants to implement cellular manufacturing. Please listen first. First and foremost, what we need to do is, we need to first of all identify, concentrate, what are the parts to be produced. Please remember, first you have to produce so many parts and after that only the car will be assembled. All of you agree that a car comprises of many parts, big, small, but it comprises of many number of parts or not? Concentrate. So, first identify what are the parts that need to be produced. Say for example, I have identified the following parts. Okay, now concentrate. First and foremost, the windshield, glass, windows, wipers, various bearings to be fitted in the gear, to be fitted in the axle, to be fitted behind the steering. Engine ka various components will be there. The chassis, mainly the engine configuration, assembling the engine is the most important one. Your motor, assembling your motor is most complicated process. Many companies, this process they will not tell anyone also. They will have their own technology. For example, Honda has its own technology known as iVTech. It is their own technology. We don't know how it is done. It is their property. iVTech engines. Mahindra has its own M-Hawk engines. M-Hawk engines they have. And you have your Toyota, which has its own engine. Hyundai has its own CRDI engine for its diesel vehicles. Toyota has its own set of engines. And therefore, this assembly that is done of the motor, you have specifications na? 1.8 liter turbo engine, 2.0 liter turbo engine. These are all what? Ultimately the motors which need to be assembled, which need to be configured. So like this, I can go on. An entire list will be there. These parts, I need to first identify what I am going to produce. Are you following? Next, what I will do is, in my second step, I will group similar parts into families. Please repeat, all of you. Group similar parts into families means what? Out of all the parts that I am going to produce in order to make my car, there are certain parts which are not same but they are similar. For example, glass, windows, rear view mirror, side view mirror, these are all similar but not same. They will become a group known as, say, family number 1. In this family, all the glass components, windows, etc. will be manufactured. Then I will have another family of the bearings. All the bearings will be fitted in different places. So many bearings will be there in a car. But these bearings are not same but similar. This is family number 2. And then I have family number 3, where I have all my motor related parts which need to be finally assembled for that powerful engine to come. And therefore, I have now divided my parts into families. Now what I will do? I will study what is the process that needs to be done. Systematic analysis will be done for the production of each family, and for each family a working cell will be set up. Are you understanding? In one U-shaped working cell, one family of parts will be made. In each working cell, that family of parts will be made. Are you understanding or not? Are you following or not? Please remember, it's not so simple. Like our earlier example, machining, finishing, assembly, packing, you can do that when the product is not much a complicated product. If the product is an advanced product like an automobile, you can't say each working cell will produce one car. You can't do that. Each working cell cannot produce one car because it's a complicated industry. If the industry is a simple manufacturing industry like FMCG, Like you're manufacturing biscuits, atta, processing various kinds of flour. Then it is easy. Then you can say, this working cell is for toothpaste, this working cell is for atta, this working cell is for biscuit. You can do that. But it's not possible for each working cell to produce a final product when the nature of industry is complicated. And let me tell you, in complicated industries only, cellular manufacturing will be more useful. And therefore, in these industries, they will not make each working cell to produce a final product. They will make each working cell to produce a families of parts which will ultimately be assembled in the final product. Is it clear, all of you? This is which step? Second step. What was the first step? Identify what all parts need to be produced. What is the second step? Come on. Group them into families and do a systematic analysis about how you are going to produce, and then for each family you have to set up a, come on, working cell. What will be the shape of the working cell? U shape. How many operators will be in charge of a working cell? Single operator. Is it clear? Then what we do is, then we go for the next step, where to place the working cell, where to allocate, because multiple plant locations will be there. Multiple plant locations will be there. Production planning has to be done properly, because these industries are not located in one particular location. They are located all over the globe. Toyota has a manufacturing plant in Chennai. Ford also, Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is one of the leading automobile companies from USA. Ford is having a plant in Chennai. Okay. And any sector you take, even your Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they also have multiple plant locations. They are also multi-product. For them also, cellular manufacturing will be very useful. Pepsi has 3 plants in Maharashtra. It has 1 plant in Telangana, in Sangareddy. And when you go to these plants, the production planning needs to be done properly. And same way, if you want to implement cellular manufacturing, you need to implement in all your factories. Okay, it's not just in one factory you have cellular manufacturing. So multiple locations will be there, multiple products will be there to be produced, and therefore we take the help of lot of mathematical models, we take the help of statistics, we take the help of various algorithms. You don't have to know what are those models, but I need the help of mathematical models and statistics, because I need to totally rearrange all my machines in U-shape. It's not so simple. It's not that you are playing with marbles and you are going to arrange the marbles in a U-shaped manner. It's not so simple. Placing machines in a U-shape in multiple plant locations across the world and telling which working cell to produce which family of parts is not so simple. Please remember, demand is also going to affect my production. If demand for my cars is more in Europe and less in Asia, accordingly I should do my production planning for my factories in Europe. Accordingly I will do for factories in Asia. General Motors, which is a famous automobile company from USA, failed in India. It is having only one factory in India, in Gujarat. That is also 100% export oriented unit. How much to produce, where to produce, when to produce, in which location to produce, which market to satisfy, which customer to satisfy, which demand to be met, which order to be delivered, are so many factors which will affect my production. I must take all these factors and I must also ensure that my working cells are arranged in all these different locations. Each working cell should produce a family of parts in different locations at the correct time in the exact quantity as required by that particular area depending upon the demand from the customer. Imagine how much of calculation need to be done. Are you following, sir? Automobile companies have different design for the same cars in different countries. Do you know? Maruti in Pakistan is known as Mehran. Toyota manufactures Fortuner cars differently for Indian market, differently for other markets. Volkswagen manufactures cars differently for Europe markets, differently for Indian markets. Engine will be different. For example, there is a car of Volkswagen known as the Volkswagen Tiguan. Volkswagen Tiguan is one of the popular cars from Volkswagen. It's an SUV. It's a damn good SUV. SUV Volkswagen Tiguan in Europe has a different engine specification. There it is 200 bhp horsepower. In Indian markets, it is only 140 bhp horsepower. Why? Here mileage matters. If power is more, mileage will be less. Here the roads will be different. For Indian roads, the braking system has been designed specifically for Indian roads, because such roads you will not find in Europe also. Yes. So, when each automobile industry, each automobile company has to make cars depending upon the specification, demand of the industry in such a, you can say, planned manner, grouping the machine into working cells needs to be done at multiple plant location based on proper production planning, based on various mathematical models and algorithms. And finally, the fourth step to implement this system is, once everything is finalized, the last step is to determine what is actually my cost that is going to happen. How am I going to do my intercell material handling? How am I going to do my external transportation? What is the cost that is coming for each plant where I am keeping my working cells? All that evaluation will be done in step number 4, where I will finalize what is my resources required, what is my resources required, what is the cost required. Based on that, I will allocate the funds and I will do my group technology, one piece flow, cellular manufacturing. 4 steps are clear. These 4 steps are the steps to implement. What is the side heading that you have written? Steps to implement what? Cellular manufacturing. Okay, now we will start writing step number 1. Step number 1, write down. Identify the parts to be made. Identify the parts to be made. Group the parts based on similarity into families. Based on similarity. What kind of similarity? It can be design similarity. Go on writing. Can be design similarity, or it can be manufacturing process, maybe having some similarity. Whatever may be the similarity, please group those parts into families. Okay. Step number 2, analysis of each family. Analysis of each family in the form of PFA, that is production flow analysis. What is exactly the way to produce each family? Family means what? Come on, group of similar parts. Are the parts same or similar? They are not same, they are just similar. Okay, so analyze each family and then set up / create a working cell for each family. Okay, sir. Set up / create a working cell for each family. Done? Completed? Finished? Sir, is it completed? Next, step 3. Shall I turn the page? Right? Based on multiple plant locations, multi-markets, proper production planning, must be done. Use mathematical models / algorithms to create working cells, to create the working cells. Completed? Last step, step number 4. Once cellular manufacturing is determined and plan is ready, factors like cost of holding, inter-cell handling, transport cost, and fixed costs must be optimized. Optimized is nothing but trying to reduce these costs, trying to achieve cost effectiveness, because now you have decided to go for cellular manufacturing, so finalize the costs. Even the material and labor costs to be determined. Once you do this step, you will be ready to implement the necessary resources to start the cellular manufacturing. Come on, finish. Is it over? Complete all of you? So, the huge benefits of cellular manufacturing are there, but as we all know, some limitation also will be there. Okay? Have you all written till here? Right? The last point is cost benefit analysis, where we will discuss the advantages and disadvantages. I want all of you to tell me what are the advantages, because you already know. Tell me what are the advantages. Huge savings in what? Come on. Time, space, inventory, elimination of scrap, elimination of waste, saving time, space, inventory. Am I right or not? What else do you feel? Come on. Costs will be known with more certainty. Cost can be linked to each cell. Cost of production can be linked to each cell because the costs are incurred within a Come on, within a limited space or not? All costs are incurred within that cell or not? So your costing will be more accurate. How much cost I have incurred for that particular part, I will know accurately because they are incurred within that cell. Costs are not scattered between various departments, various buildings, various departments. Are you following or no? So tell me, costing will be more accurate. Repeat. Because it is incurred within a cell. Repeat. Because it is incurred within a cell. Next. Problems can be easily, come on, problems can be easily, tell me, identified. Workers also will see the problems easily and workers will give ideas how to improve the production process. Because it is one piece flow. But there are certain disadvantages also. What are those disadvantages? Very costly, very time consuming. This is one common disadvantage you will find everywhere. Sometimes the machines are grouped in a cell. After that, making changes is not possible. After that, changing the production technique, very difficult. Once you have grouped into U-shaped cells, you continue production in the same fashion. If you want to change and some new technology comes, again you have to reconfigure, reorganize the machines. Okay, so these are the limitations as well. So please give the side heading as cost benefit analysis of cellular manufacturing. Cost benefit analysis of cellular manufacturing. Now let's look at the benefits and drawbacks. The benefits are reduces time, distance, space and inventory. Reduces scrap and rework. Due to early identification of problem. Quality control is facilitated. Workers can easily see problems and suggest improvement. Workers can easily see problems and suggest improvement. Completed all of you? Drawbacks is creating the working cell is difficult. time consuming, and expensive. Each cell can perform at a certain volume. Any change in demand, that is increase or decrease, each cell can perform at a certain volume, full stop. Any change in demand, that is increase or decrease, cannot be achieved. Cannot be achieved. Even if you want to achieve, it is very expensive, because in the bracket you write, cell needs to be rearranged to change volume of production. So the volume flexibility is not there. The volume flexibility will not be there, because each cell is already designed and it is to perform at a particular volume only. So changes in the volume because of changes in the demand requires the cells to be rearranged. See, I am not talking of minor fluctuations. I am talking of major fluctuation. Suddenly there is an increase in demand. Suddenly there is a huge fall in demand. The cell is designed to operate at a particular level. To suddenly change it will become difficult. And even if you want to change it, it's going to be very expensive for you. Is it clear, all of you? So this discussion was about cellular manufacturing. I hope you understood the practical side of this also, not only the theoretical part. Till now, there are no questions asked from this topic, but we can expect a question because it is one of the core concepts of lean system. It is known as ultimate in lean system. Okay? So this is the end of the lean system, under which you have drawn 6 arrows on the first page of this chapter. Am I right? We have completed just in time, Kaizen, 5S, TPM, Six Sigma, and cellular manufacturing. The next topic of discussion is innovation. Don't forget, the name of the chapter is Lean System and Innovation. In our next lecture, we will be taking up innovation. Under innovation, you have drawn 2 arrows. Please open that page. The first page of your chapter in the concepts book. Am I right? Under innovation, you have 2 topics: business process re-engineering and process innovation. In our next lecture, we will be starting BPR, on which there are good number of case studies also. And once we finish this chapter, I will be uploading a revision lecture also for this entire chapter, so that at the time of revision, how to do, how much to study, from where to study, what are the important areas, we will be covering everything, and only then we will move to the chapter number 4. So I will meet you in the next lecture under innovation, business process re-engineering. Listen to the classes regularly, be focused, whether it is theory topic or whether it is a case study or whether it is a practical topic, show the same level of involvement and interest. Please concentrate, listen to the classes, have a habit of writing everything. I hope all of you are writing. Yes or no? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. I'll see you in the next lecture. Keep smiling, all of you.